rock and roll. All right, party time.
Godzilla says that I should learn to fight my own battles. No.
Hello, cadets, and welcome to episode 103 of the Big Monster Briefing Room. I am General Lemuel T. Howitzer, retired. And I'm going to bring up my able-bodied assistant right now, Miss Major Billy Hazzard.
Well, thank you. You know, I really love this. I get so engaged with the Godzilla and with Gamera and with Jet Jaguar. I don't think I can let it go. I just want to watch this one over and over again. I can't believe you're going to change it. It's amazing.
Oh, you're talking about the opening.
The opening is incredible. You know, Godzilla says I should fight my own battles, and then you have like a cameo by Jet Jaguar in there, and the way that it starts with rock and roll is just amazing.
Godzilla says I have to fight my own battles, you know.
It's very similar to like it sounds like a Muppet. There's a certain.
It sounds like
Muppet.
Goofy from Disney.
A little bit like
I gotta fight my own battles, you know.
Yep.
So I'm glad you like it,
much
though. But yeah, we're gonna have to change it. And again, you said that with the what are we gonna do with those pies, boys? You said you're gonna miss that one too, and now this one.
Oh no, that's right.
took your heart.
That was actually like my favorite. You're so right about that. I don't know. They're all amazing. They're all amazing.
So we might get him back because I might redo Killer Clowns with we know Mike Siegel, who was in that movie. So we might actually redo that one with him doing commentary on it. That would be the first time we've done a movie twice because we want to do it with the actor that was in it. Anyway, interesting news. We connected with one of the people that was in the movie I'm Madman, Miss Stephanie Hodge. So we're going to try to get her in here in a couple of weeks to take us through I'm Madman.
I saw her on It's Casual with Rory Pendland, you know, and it was like amazing. She was absolutely incredible. I was blown away by her. She's such a star. She's just amazing. She's gorgeous. She's funny. She's insightful, intelligent. She's the full package.
And she's got quite the body of work as far as TV and movies go. So I was very surprised by that. Also, we're hoping to do Jeepers Creepers real soon.
That's
because we know Avis Marie Barnes, who played the deputy in that. So again, we got a lot of good stuff coming up. Of course, Billy Vera, good friend of Cosmos Creative TV. He was in Buckaroo Banzai, which has, you know, the electroids and monsters and stuff in it. So yeah, we're probably going to do that one at the beginning of the next season. So don't be surprised if that opening opens up with Billy Vera going, "Yeah, pal, everybody needs to see Buckaroo." I think that'd be a great opening.
We've got to have Billy on the show to talk about it and dissect it.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. First episode of the next season, we're going to do Buckaroo Banzai. But I'm waiting for that because I want to put that clip in the opening.
Yes, of course. Now I don't feel so bad about the season 4 opener changing. Now I don't feel so bad.
Right.
Thank you.
So there's actually a lot of clips from that movie I would like to put in the opening, but
you should.
John Lithgow alone, you know, has got some great lines in that movie.
It's amazing.
Hey, Banzai, take a look at your girlfriend, huh? I feel so break up. I want to go home.
We're going to have to do a 2-hour special for that one. It's going to be 90 minutes.
Mom is also in that movie, too.
Oh, my goodness. I can't believe it. That's
So
true.
yeah, that's an interesting movie. So we'll be doing that one soon. Okay, but tonight we are gonna. All right. Here's the thing. Pan Orea is our mummy expert, and she was in here about 6 months ago, and we did The Mummy, the one with Brendan Fraser. Okay,
Right.
and then she came on about 3 months ago, and we did The Mummy. But it was the Hammer version. So I actually scheduled her to be here tonight to do The Mummy. But it was another version. And I said, you know what? I can't do that to her. We're gonna do something different. We gotta just give me the mummy. So we're doing The Mummy Shroud, which is a Hammer training film. The Mummy Shroud. And as I was putting this together, I noticed some very interesting things about this film and its mummy character, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it should be an interesting show. So let's go ahead and bring up our mummy expert, Miss Pan Orea.
Hi, guys.
There she is.
Hello. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you so much for lending your expertise. We looked forward to this all week.
Okay.
On the East Coast, we film the show at night.
I don't
But
know
to
if
you
I'm an
YouTube
expert.
followers, it's timeless. It's not day, it's not night.
I wasn't sure if I was going to play a character or not. And then I decided I haven't done this for a while. I'll just be myself.
This isn't improv night.
Improv is on Saturday, so I have to.
That's your show. That's in a couple of days. That's your show.
Yeah.
So now you're just Pan Orea, a mummy expert.
We like to know, Pan. Yeah, and this is a chance for us to get to know you and your mummy issue. Like, General has a thing saying that he has mummy issues. That's beneath his thing right now. So we get to learn about your mummy topics and what you feel about mummies.
Okay.
That's wonderful.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
So this movie, it's a short one by Hammer Films.
I watched it. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you watch it? I hope.
I did. I did last
Very
night.
good. Very good. We did our homework. There was somebody this week, I can't remember, I saw it on the news, but some senator made fun of a newscaster saying she didn't do her homework. And man, she laid into him. She actually kind of looked like you too. And she just laid into this guy.
I have a career now.
Anyway,
I can do the news. I can be a reporter.
I digress. All right, so let's go ahead and start.
I've been sick, but with really, really a terrible stomach flu. But I did watch the movie. I did watch the movie, and I'm ready for you. I'm ready. Let's do this.
Okay. Well, I hope it raised a few eyebrows on your end too, because there were some things in this I was like, "What? Wait a minute."
Oh, I got lots to say. Let's do this.
So, 20th Century Fox picked this up from Hammer Films and released it, and then Studio Canal picked it up to release it to, I guess, like video. So here is the Pharaoh, and he's had a son. We got a Lion King moment here. Wife not looking too good at this moment, but he's probably got 50 other ones. So that was the custom back in those days. Now wait a minute. Let's go back again and look at that slide.
I'm so
let's
sorry.
look at the baby closely here.
I'm so sorry. I have my sound card, and you were echoing. I started playing with it. And went back to the original problem, but I fixed it again. Sorry.
Okay. Well, again, look at the Pharaoh's face. Look at the mom's face. And now look at the baby. Something's going on here. Something's not right.
The casting in this movie, so bizarre. We'll get into the details once we go throughout the movie, but I mean, they did a horrible job with the casting for this movie, right?
I got to agree with you in some cases, yeah. Michael Ripper, who is a Hammer Films regular, is in this, and he's really good in his character. But yeah, there are some other people that, like you say, it just doesn't belong. And that baby, that baby doesn't belong.
That baby is not Egyptian looking. It's definitely not Arabic looking. It's a black baby.
Okay. Let's go to the next slide. Because I think I found the baby's father.
There he is.
I'm guessing, and he's the mummy.
There was something happening.
That's the
mean,
mummy right there. So I'm
yeah,
guessing, yeah, he's protecting this kid for another reason. Anyway, so the enemies of this pharaoh barge in, and during the mom's death scene, she dies from the childbirth. And they go, and of course the guy who protects, the protector of the pharaoh and his son, he does a valiant job fighting off these guys, but they finally get through, and they kill the pharaoh. And the pharaoh says, "Take my son and keep him safe."
yeah,
Yeah, sure, okay,
yeah.
because he's probably his son anyway. So okay, so they go out in the desert.
The first weird thing about the beginning of the movie is that when they barged into that room that they were sitting in,
Yeah,
it was so small. There were so many soldiers. I don't know what you call them. Soldiers.
yeah,
What do you call them? I don't know. They barged in,
yeah.
and
There were soldiers, sentries,
they were.
soldiers.
It was such a small space. They could have gotten everybody at the same time. He's protecting his son, and then there was so much time to tell him, "Take my son and go protect him." I mean, it was weird.
They should have all been dead by then.
And he just took him, and they left, and nobody noticed. That was
It's
so
a
weird.
good point.
The space was so small. It was this tiny little room, but they managed to escape. First thing
Like,
that
hey,
bothered
get that
me.
guy. They're going away with the prince. Get him.
So weird.
He's going out the window.
Yeah.
So yeah, he takes him out into the desert, and they show how grueling and nasty and terrible the desert is, and it takes out several of the guys that are with them. And like you said, several of these guys that went with them, where did they come from?
Exactly.
Did they all jump over the balcony?
He left with the child, and then there's another army waiting for them to escort them in the desert. So bizarre. How come they weren't captured and killed?
Grab these animal pelts. Come on, we're going in the desert.
Yeah, so bizarre. Yeah.
So they get to a point in the middle of the desert, and they realize the prince is going to die. He's succumbed to the not getting a lot of water. I guess I would think he would be the last one to get water since he's the prince, or he'd be the first one to get water. I mean, since he's the prince. But anyway, he passes, and
they don't explain the reasons that he got ill.
Yeah.
All they did was they just said he's dying, and that's it.
Well, back then the kids, if they made it to adulthood, it was amazing. That was even 100 years ago. No penicillin back then. No over-the-counter drugs.
The stress got to him.
I guess it was the stress. Yeah, there you go. Ancient Egyptian stress. There's no cats anywhere. I need a cat. Give me a support cat.
Yeah.
So this guy, the protector, carves in stone the gravesite of the pharaoh's son, the prince.
Yeah.
And that's where we get our opening credits. He takes a dagger, and he carves it in the side of the rock, and it's the mummy Shroud.
Yeah.
Now, somehow this guy got himself wrapped up as a mummy, and again, they never explain it. But he's already been found. The mummy is already in his case and everything in the museum before these guys even find the prince.
Yeah.
And they never really explained how that happened.
And they also don't explain how he got mummified in the first place.
Exactly. That's what I was just saying. I guess some of these guys with the animal pelts wrapped him up and buried him with the prince.
They showed the child died.
Nearby.
The prince died. The child died. And he was, he was responsible to mummify him and bury him and do all that. Great. We got that part.
Right.
But how did he pass away? When did he pass away? Who mummified him? Because in order to be mummified, you had to be royalty. He was not a royal. He was
he was the guard.
Servant.
No, I get that, because even in Chinese ancient times, they had, they made clay warriors to protect the king and buried them with the king. And in some cases, some of the king's guards were buried with him to protect him in the afterlife.
Okay.
So I'm sure that was kind of a thing in the Egyptian culture too. I think I read that somewhere too as well.
I had no idea that the bodyguards or the people that were very important to those royals were also mummified and buried with them. I had no idea about that. even though I'm an expert, I'm not aware of this, but
Well-
who did that? Like, when did he die? Did he go back?
Again,
Like,
once the
did
prince
he
was
go back?
dead, this guy was in charge. He probably told those guys, "Okay, mummify me and bury me close by, so I can protect the prince."
Yeah, but when they
What are
killed
these
the
guys
king,
going to do? Go, hell no! That's not my job description.
when they killed the king, any instruction that he had left was like gone. Like, this guy to get mummified and buried and be like important in this movie, to me doesn't make sense. I
It's
could
his
be
son.
wrong.
I think it's his son.
Okay. All right.
So
It must be some weird thing happening. Yeah.
So he took power. He said, "Yeah, I'm the pharaoh. Bury me, mummify me, and bury me."
Yeah.
But yeah, the most important part was left out of that beginning too, which was the shroud. He put the shroud over the mummy or over
Yes.
the kid,
Yes.
and the shroud is what this whole film is about. That's the
The
mummy
whole
shroud,
thing
even
is-
the title.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
So we didn't see that. We get a kind of a retelling of the story when they dig the kid up.
Yes.
So, all right. that was my
a
way
lot of things were open.
my genteel way of
interpretation.
saying that they excavated and found the prince. They dug the kid up.
Now we're in 1920, you guys. So
Yes.
this is many, many years,
With
you know,
70s
thousands
style
of years,
clothing.
because
60s style clothing.
you know, I think it was like what, before Jesus Christ. The date that the movie started was, what was the date? 2000.
They didn't say. It's just
2000
ancient
BC?
Egypt sometime.
Yeah. So we're talking about
Maybe they said it.
thousands
I
of
missed
years.
it. Yeah.
Thousands
It's
of
ancient
years.
Egypt.
General, thousands of years went by. Now we're in 1920, and
Yes.
the movie starts. Well, not it started with the what we just discussed, but now we're at this time, 1920,
Yes.
and we see these people walking in. I believe it's a hotel in Egypt, right? A fancy hotel.
Correct.
Go ahead, General.
And this is Stanley Preston, or as I like to refer him, big time a-hole. Played by John Phillips. He is just irreprehensible. I mean, this guy is just nasty.
Just nasty, even with his son, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
his son and his wife are there with him, or actually, his son is part of an excavation, a party looking for the prince, and they're lost. So the father's like, "Hey, let's send six teams of men out to find him." The little guy on the right is actually Michael Ripper. Again, he's been in just about every Hammer training film ever made. Yeah. He's a little character actor. He's a great actor, and he plays
Long Barrow.
Long Barrow.
Yeah,
is his name. Yeah, and he is like the attaché.
And I like the contrast between those two characters. You know, because they made the father look so mean.
He's a douchebag.
Narcissistic, you know,
Yes.
like a terrible person, even towards his son. And then his left, well, the person that works for him, he's like a sweetheart, like totally like always trying to please him, always trying to be like a good person around him and help him out every chance he gets. So that contrast is so important in the movie because it makes both characters appear on those extreme spectrum of personality. So one is really nice and one is really evil. There's no like happy medium. So I like that. I like when movies do that because then it's so obvious, right?
He's a good attaché. He really is. Okay, so Paul Preston is the son, and he's out in the desert. The press has come to ask him about the missing party. Again, they're like, okay, we're going to send people out to find them. And Preston himself, Stanley Preston, says, yeah, I'm going to go out with one of the teams. So
his son
we find out that the reason they're lost is because they're in a sandstorm.
Yeah.
And it's a really bad.
Did he know his son was out there?
Yes.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, he's got 6 parties looking for this group of people, led by Sir Basil Walden, played by Andre Morel.
Yes.
He's the scientist that's leading this group. They're in a tent trying to stay away from the sandstorm, and The guy that's walking through there, that's Paul. That's the son.
Yeah.
He gets
Now
into the tent.
his son. Okay, so this is my question. Why did he do this alone without his dad? Why was he in this group? Did he know his dad was coming? And
No.
okay,
No.
he had no idea.
His dad is one of those guys that gives money to things like this.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, basically, it was his son that was really interested in finding the remains, and then his father just tagged along because he wanted to get recognition, the credit, if his son were to find it.
Again, we can assume, even though it hasn't been told to us, that probably the son and Sir Basil found the protector, because he's already in the museum in his own little mummy case there, which we'll see later. And that's led them, it's gotten them closer to what they really want to find, which is the prince, the lost prince who's out there in the desert somewhere.
Okay.
So they know they're close.
Okay.
Now, what's ironic is that you see there's a well, I guess that might be a tent.
A tent.
I thought that might be a pyramid. I'm like, what? They're in Giza? What? But no, that might be a tent, actually, now that I'm looking at it.
There's Maggie Kimberly, the actress that plays Claire.
Yes.
I did my homework. And then who's the other guy next to her? I forgot his name.
He is the photographer. His name is Harry. He's a cameraman that's come along to photograph the whole thing.
Yeah.
Sir Basil is up on the top right.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that's Andre Morel. And he played Watson in the Hammer version of The Hound of the Baskervilles. He played Sherlock Holmes as Watson.
Okay.
He had a mustache in that. And he's the professor in this. He's the main character in this.
Yes. Yes. All right.
Unfortunately, one of the first to die.
Yes, they're all going to die.
So there's the mummy.
No, not everybody. At the end, there's 2 survivors. We just said the ending. Great.
No, it's okay. I mean, everybody knows that we are the Cliff Notes of horror films, and we do a timeline from beginning to end, so they're going to get the spoilers. Spoiler alert! They're going to get the spoilers for this. They're going to see the whole thing in pictures.
Yeah.
Also, there are graphic things on this show. I need to point out, and so parental discretion is advised because some horror movies have bloody stuff going on in them. So there it is.
This movie really? What?
This one is for Hammer films. This one is incredibly unbloody. There is a little bit, but not a lot. It's more of a character piece than a gore fest. But if you watch some of the vampire movies that Hammer did, stuff like that, Frankenstein. Oh my gosh, yeah, a lot of blood. Okay, so the press are asking Stanley Preston if he's going to go out looking for his son, and he says yes, I'm joining one of the teams, and he goes out. And his wife is very nice there, and again, they're in the museum with what has been collected already. So we see the mummy for the first time, and this is an interesting mummy because he's got these kind of marks, these slash marks on the side of his mummy face, which look kind of like a hockey mask, like Jason from Friday the 13th, but that was later,
I can't figure out the arms,
the wicker gloves.
A mummy that's mummified. It's like top to bottom. There's like cloth
with basket hands,
and all of a sudden, this mummy has gloves on. It's so bizarre, right?
And he looks like he's got a khaki jumpsuit on and a belt as well.
Yeah.
So I guess they just covered him up and then mummified his face.
His face is, and we'll get to the eyes afterwards. When he opens his eyes, his eyes are blue. Now that's
very bright blue.
Bright blue for a mummy, an Egyptian. They don't have blue eyes.
Well, I don't remember that big guy at the beginning of the film having big bright blue eyes either.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why the eyes are blue, but we're not there yet. But those are like the little details that we're like picking on now because it's irritating.
That's a good point. I'm pretty
There's
sure that
more
tall guy at the beginning of the movie had brown eyes, but there we go.
Yeah. And it's bizarre, yeah.
Okay, so the storm stops and they hear it and they go outside.
Yes.
And lo and behold, they find the thing that he carved into the rock right in front of their tent.
Oh my
right
God,
there.
that's right. That's right.
They were there the whole time. They were right there.
Yeah. So they were right there. Storm stops. They come out. Boom.
So
the writing is right there. And it's like, they didn't even show that they were trying to look for anything. They
so
just
Sir Basil's like, well, hey, that's right over here.
Yeah. Just a couple
Takes
of
a few steps
and
over there and hey, there's the opening to the.
It's like, oh, wait a minute, what's this? And he's like wiping it off, and it's like so convenient. It's there, like the storm blew everything. I mean, the storm was what basically caused the writing to appear, but writing
also
like this needs to be
the
buried.
opening to the cave.
So weird. Yes.
How convenient.
And the cave is right there, and they just walked in.
Let's
with
go.
No dynamite, nothing.
Storm did the job for us. So yeah, they light up their lanterns and go inside.
Oh, blue eyes is because of a lack of pigment. Excellent point, Manuel. Manny.
Maybe it was like white eyes, soulless eyes.
I don't know. They look blue to me. They look blue to me because I have a weakness for blue eyes. So I noticed it right away. It's like, what's going on here?
So here's Hazmat. I mean Hazmid. It sounds like hazmat, like a hazmat suit.
Right.
He is played by Roger Delgado, who went on to play the Master in Doctor Who.
Yes. Now, when they meet him, and he's speaking in Arabic, do you think that was like real Arabic? Have you looked into that?
I'm sure Claire did.
Well, listen, he's speaking. I don't speak Arabic, but I have friends that are Arabic. When I was in school when I was younger, there was a lot of Arabic students in my classroom. Okay, in business school, and when they used to speak Arabic, it sounds different. Like there was no khla, there was no khalas, there was none of that. It did not sound
Arabic.
Do
that sometimes.
It didn't sound Arabic to me. So I'm just curious to know if they had a proper translator that really told them how to say things in Arabic, and these actors memorized the script in Arabic, because I'm convinced if I show this movie to a real Arab and say, yo, what is he saying? He would be like, nothing. It's all gibberish. It's just a feeling I have. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. Maybe it is Arabic. But
oh yeah, mate. I can write you some Arabic. Sure. No problem.
It just doesn't. It didn't sound like
it's
Arabic.
Ancient Arabic, isn't it? So you're not going to know, are you? Because it's ancient Arabic. I happen to know.
Listen, it could be Arabic, but the actors weren't doing a good job of speaking it in Arabic. So right away, it was a turnoff for me. I'm like, that doesn't sound Arabic. This actor
Dialect coach.
This actor is English, and he's doing a terrible job. They painted his face, and they made his teeth all dirty and black, and you can see the marker on his teeth.
Yes, I have never ever in a movie seen a tooth black that looks so obvious in my life. It's true.
Exactly. They just took a black marker.
At least with his sister, the lady who's the she's like a gypsy, like an Egyptian gypsy. I tried to say that 5 times fast.
And again, his sister had blue eyes. Doesn't look Arabic at all. Looks like an old English lady.
She's the mummy's great granddaughter.
I don't know.
She naturally had nasty looking teeth. So
yes, but his teeth were like basically good teeth that were painted on with a marker. They put a lot of dark makeup on his face. I don't know. When I talked about casting wasn't like the casting wasn't good, this is what I'm talking about. I would have loved if they had a real actor who was Egyptian, Arabic, who actually spoke Arabic and can actually say those lines in Arabic with a good accent, not a fake one.
Now,
I would be
when we did The
impressed.
Mummy, 1959, there was he did seem like he was an Arabic actor who was playing the mummy's assistant in that one.
Okay.
Remember that?
Yeah.
But in this one, yeah, Roger Delgado had already established himself on TV as the master before this happened. So I don't.
They don't do that anymore in movies. When they do casting, they try to find actors who are, let's say in this case, a real Egyptian who could like really play the part, and they don't have to put so much makeup, and they don't have to, have him memorize these lines in Arabic and he sounds like so fake. So they don't do that anymore. But back then, when they used to make these movies, they would give the parts to actors, well-known actors, and they just wanted them to transform.
Yeah.
Play another culture. It's kind of hard to do that, especially in the Arabic.
They would just get Peter Sellers to do it.
They're like, okay, you got this part, Roger Delgado.
But yeah, that's what you're talking about with the teeth. That is an actual teeth stain that they use in Hollywood and filmmaking. And when used properly, it looks good. But this was like a really quick teeth job. It was just terrible. Terrible. It was so obvious. As far as the Egyptian actors, the same thing with the inspector later in the film. I don't think he's Egyptian.
Are we going too slow, General? Correct. We may have to speed it up. According to JD, it's going to take 3 hours.
So in any case, they find the thing. The Basil gets bitten by a poisonous snake.
Yes.
And he is made very sick. And they have to take him outside.
Yeah.
For a little bit to get some fresh air. And they've cut his arm to get the poison out. And then they realize somebody's coming. So they get their guns ready, and it's Paul's dad.
Yeah. Yeah, so. he was moving some rocks. There was a snake behind, bit him. He used his knife, like you said, to remove like the venom. So he was
a deadly asp.
And there he is, right? We see him like looking all fragile, and that's where the dad walked in. There's the dad, and he's like, what happened? What's going on?
Stanley, Sir Basil.
Yeah.
Claire.
Yeah,
she's got a little and in ancient French times they used to put the little beauty mark on their face. She's actually got one of those. It's a real one.
Oh, that's a real one. Okay, I wasn't sure.
It's a real one. Yeah, but if you look at the pictures closely, you can tell it's a real one. Not that I've looked at the pictures too closely. Don't tell my wife.
She has one of those faces, though. Like don't mess with me kind of face.
She has kind of a tough broad.
She looks tough. Like, look at those eyes. It's like the way she looks at the other characters. She's so like calm throughout the movie. She's very calm, intelligent, but she has this look with her eyes that it's like, don't mess with me.
This was actually, I think, the biggest film role she ever had. I was looking over IMDb, and it was just a lot of bit parts and other things.
Yeah. But when they were telling her to read the like the cover of the month. Well, we're not there yet. Let's wait till we get there. Yeah. She didn't want to do that reading. And you see, she was tough. She said no, and they listened to her. They didn't pressure.
I said no.
I said no.
Okay. So they get into the cavern and they find the kid. And Sir Basil gets a little better. He goes inside. He digs up the shroud, and the kid is underneath the shroud. So they found it.
Yeah.
And I just went through like 4 slides with that explanation already.
Well, now we're going to be talking.
He's digging out.
Now we're going to start analyzing all the little things that irritate me in this scene. Okay, there's the mummy. Okay. First of all, the way they went into this little space, they dug like a little rectangular kind of shape. They had one of their, I don't know, tag-along helpers digging, right? Yeah. And they just conveniently pushed it in, and it was so perfect, like a block. Boof.
Well, they actually pulled it out.
Oh, they pulled it out? Okay,
Yeah,
they pulled
dug
it out.
around the big brick there, and then they pulled it out. Yeah.
But it was so perfect. And then boom, they all went in. They were all able to get into that little tight space, no problem. Boom, they got in.
Well, it's a pretty big brick.
All these people were able to get in, and just so easily. It was like there was no challenge to get into this space. I mean, this is something that is supposed to be difficult to find, difficult to get in. Booby traps. Where are the booby traps? I see nothing. It's like they made
Indiana Jones hadn't come out by that time.
Well, I don't know. They just a perfect rectangular, space that they either pulled out or pushed in. I don't remember that if they pushed it in or out, but boom, they got in. No booby traps. Everyone is happy. We found it. I'm like, what? I'm watching this movie. I'm like, this is not making me feel like I'm watching something exciting. I want to see booby traps. I want people dying.
But Sir Basil got bit by a snake.
That's all.
Okay, it was a baby snake, but
When I saw that he was bitten by the snake, I said, this is the beginning of the booby traps.
Yeah.
This is going to be great. And then that was it. It was just one snake bite.
Okay,
and then
grab that rock there.
They all got into that little space. And don't forget, it was supposed to be really hot in there, because before they got in, when they were taking notes and they were writing a diary of their adventures, and he was reciting to his sidekick what to write, he was adding some like lies in there, fictitious things, just so he can appear that he's like this amazing person. And then they were saying how hot it is, that they were drinking water and it's really, really hot in there, which I would assume it is hot. As soon as they got into that little space where the mummy was, no one looked like they were losing like oxygen. No one appeared to be suffocating in there or that it was bloody hot. Nothing. Everyone was like good, comfortable in this space.
Hey, it's got air conditioning.
I don't like it. You're in this place with a mummy that's been there for 2,000 years, and the oxygen is great. Nobody's coughing. Nobody's complaining that it's hot and they can't breathe in
smelly.
there. I don't know. Those details bother me. Okay. Enough.
Okay. So, all right. So, it was very important to point out that Sir Basil went into the crypt.
Yes.
Stanley went into the crypt. Paul went into the crypt. Barbara was back in the hotel. She's okay. Claire went into the crypt. Longbarrow went into the crypt, and Harry went into the crypt. So, Hasmid tried to warn them that if you defile the crypt, you're going to die. This is the curse. And then they're like, "No, we won't." And he's like, and he walks off.
Yeah, he's like, I don't believe in this.
That went down.
He's like, I don't believe in this superstition.
And they let him walk off.
I know. So weird.
You're an idiot. You're coming with us. So the inspector, we meet the inspector for the first time. He's talking to Paul, and Paul's talking to Claire, about what happened in the tomb. And again, Claire would not say what was on the shroud of the mummy shroud, because it was words of death. Saying
and because she's the most intelligent one from all these people over there, she knew better not to read it.
Well, she knew what it said, so she was afraid she'd wake up the dead.
She was the translator, so she was the only one that was able to read it and understand it. But she was smart enough not to read it because she knew that it could lead to death. So already I have respect for this girl, because she's like the smart one among all these men. Hold on, I have an applause here. Listen to this, Rory. Did you hear that?
I'm General Howitzer.
Oh, sorry, General. Did you hear the applause?
I did not.
Oh, my son.
I've got a little box here. Did you hear that?
Yeah, kind of.
Sorry.
I was trying to do the applause, but it didn't. Hold on, let me try again. Nothing?
No, I'm not hearing.
Nah, it's not working. Forget it.
Hazard, did you hear that? Okay.
It's okay. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
Basil is kind of delirious now from the snake bite. It's coming back. and he's wandering around the streets. And this girl, Haiti, I don't know why they call an Egyptian person Haiti, but this girl, lady, woman, whatever, old crone, she's watching a crystal ball, and she's seeing him walking through the street, trudging through the streets. He looks up to see was it Harry's place? Harry's developing the pictures.
Yeah.
And that's
because
when
they were taking photographs
right
while they were inside the tomb. Yeah.
And she comes out and gets him. Haiti does. And she
Yeah.
brings him into her little parlor. And he doesn't realize it, but over his shoulder is her brother, who is Hazmat, the guy that tried to warn him in the crypt.
Yeah.
They are the protectors of the crypt. Okay, so
I actually went on Wikipedia and I looked at pictures of the actors. I wanted to see this lady, okay, how she looked. Her name is Catherine. What's her last name? I forgot. Anyways,
Lacey.
Yeah, Lacey.
Catherine
She
Lacey.
is actually she was very beautiful in her youth. She wasn't. We see her like this now, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. Unless again, it's the makeup. She looked kind of like scary looking.
Yeah.
Like I actually believed that she was like a witch.
Right.
She did a good job.
Egyptian gypsy witch.
You know, like pretending to be a witch, and like, you know, she did a good job in the way she would laugh, and much better than her brother. Her brother was not convincing at all.
So evidently Sir Basil is at death's door. He's barely able to keep his head up. And Hazmat summons the mummy. He's got the shroud, and he stole the shroud from the museum. He's got it. He's using it to summon the mummy to come kill Sir Basil, because he's going to make sure that the mummy kills all the people that went into the crypt and defiled the crypt. So the mummy comes to life.
He does it before every time somebody dies. He's the cause. He reads it. He's there, and the mummy just wakes up, goes, kills everybody, and then goes back to its tomb, and like it's just there, you know, like.
So nobody suspects. He's a clever mummy. So go back to that slide with the blue eyes. Old Blue Eyes is back.
There's the blue eyes. Oh my God.
Hey, gonna go and kill you. Gonna strangle you with my basket hands.
But it could be what Mommy said, you know, like that could be an explanation. I mean,
I don't even think those eyes are real. I think they just got those, like those plastic blue eyes. You know, you get at the magician shop.
This is not a good slide because they don't even look blue. They look gray. But in the movie, they're very, very blue, shiny, like, you know.
Shiny blue.
Yeah.
All right. So he's alive. He's making his move.
Mm-hmm.
Again, he's dressed like he's going on safari, but there it is. Basket hands.
That's like the worst mummy costume ever. It looks like it's a jacket.
It's different.
It looks like there's a jacket, and they just put like something over his head, and then there's pants, and then there's gloves. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just really low budget stuff here, you know. Sorry to the
no, you know, that's what we like.
Costume design team.
What works for us and what doesn't.
Yeah, the costume design team had a very small, like little budget to work with. So this is the best that they could come up with.
So now the mummy breaks out of the museum, okay, and nobody says anything about that broken door. They all go through it like, oh, and they look at it like, that's odd.
This is the problem. This is the problem I have. They always have the mummy exposed. Rarely do you see throughout the movie that, you know, he's locked somewhere. His tomb is open, right? And he's sitting like this. And throughout the movie, you have like cleaning staff, janitors coming in and out. There's no security. Anyone could just walk in and say hi to this mummy. This is a mummy, like, you know, precious. It's supposed to be like behind a locked, you know,
in a case, you know, protective case. And that's how Hazmat quickly, you know, just snatches the mummy shroud, you know, which is worth probably millions.
And right in front of the mummy, there's a table, and you see the prince mummified, you know. just on a table, exposed. Everything is open. People walking in and out. There's no locks. There's no guards. And I find that really weird. Like while I was
peculiar.
I was watching the movie. I'm like,
there was no guard there to go.
I mean, even when he was reading it, if there was somebody there to forbid it to go in and out, because he was going in and out, he was killing people and then going back to his home.
If there had been a guard there, maybe they would have been slower.
Yeah, so weird.
We would have had more than an hour and a half movie. So the mummy comes right to where Sir Basil is, and he puts his hands around Sir Basil's head, and we hear Sir Basil go, ah! Ah! He's a lot more animated when he's dying from a crushed skull.
They don't even show, wait a minute, they don't even show everything. That's another thing in this movie. They always show the intent, how they're gonna die, but they don't show any violent scenes. I'm so used to seeing violent scenes like heads getting chopped off or really, and I felt like I was cheated. I wanted to see more. I wanted to see him really struggling. And
I think it was a decision by the director to not show it so that it's in your mind as much more graphic than what it could be. And the one scene they didn't do that was Stanley, when Stanley gets killed.
Yes.
They actually have him push his head against the wall, and then his head comes down and there's a big bloody spot on the wall.
That's the only time. You're right. But
yeah.
I want to see more graphic.
Yeah, one guy is wrapped up in his mosquito netting from his bed. He's thrown out the window. And so you don't really get to see, all the glory on that because he's in his mosquito net.
He put him he covered him with all these blankets and threw him out of the window?
That was the mosquito netting around his bed. Yeah.
No, but he even took the beds. He took the bed cover. He covered him all like nice and threw him out of the window. I'm thinking to myself,
he would have survived that.
Why? It's like, okay, I want you to land, but not get hurt. The whole point is to kill this guy, grab him, and throw him out of the window. Why are you?
I want to beat you against the ground when I walk downstairs. So okay, we got to move forward here.
Let's go. Let's go.
Part yet. So okay, we got. They're back in the city, and the mummy is back in his case.
Yeah.
And they do this whole shtick about this guy cleaning up the museum. He doesn't notice that the shroud is gone, but he doesn't even notice that there's the dead body of Sir Basil laying in the cabinet right behind him when he goes to steal a drink. And then he finally turns around and sees it.
Yeah.
So Stanley's called in to view the body and confirm that it's Sir Basil, which he does.
And once again, people are going in and out very easily. Hence the cleaning guy who found him. Yeah, it's so weird.
And there's the prince looking cold on there without his shroud on.
Yeah.
So the inspector...
He went back to his wife and is telling her like what happened. She's concerned. He's not. At this point, he's still not concerned. He's like,
he's very concerned. He knows what's going to happen. He's trying to get a ticket out of there.
No, I don't.
She's not going. Paul's not going, but they're going to let him take off.
Was this the part that he wanted to catch the next boat out?
So the inspector comes in and says, "I hope you're not thinking about leaving because I'm going to need you here." And the wife's like, "See that look? That's the look of a wife that knows."
And she's not concerned because she even told him, "Well, I wasn't in the cave.
I didn't go into the tomb.
I wasn't there."
But you're in big trouble.
That's a good wife there. She's thinking, this is my opportunity, for him to die.
I'm so glad that this happened. I'm so glad you went into that tomb.
This is the only way she can find some freedom from this terrible person.
Ogre. This a-hole. Okay, so they're all talking about what happened to Sir Basil in the hotel there. There's Paul and Claire, and they're talking to her about what she wouldn't read on the shroud.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Well, I would have to look at the Harry's pictures again to see what it said." And that's when the old woman comes up. Haiti comes up to her and gives her a card. Come get your tarot reading. Yeah. And she's like, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So they go look at the pictures.
She's reading it. Yeah.
Yeah, she's trying to read them off the negatives though. So he goes, "Oh, I'll print up some tonight." So, so we know what's going to happen tonight as he's printing up the pictures. And again, when night falls, Haiti is on her magic crystal ball, and
she's watching them. She's watching their every move right through that. Yeah.
Yep. She certainly is. He looks like Dennis Hopper there. I don't know why, but hey, man. Does he have blue eyes? Is he a kind mummy?
Oh my God, the teeth.
Is he a good mummy? There's the teeth.
The teeth with the marker.
It does look like somebody took a Sharpie to his teeth. Yeah. And then they show that the mummy is not in his case. They won't even hire the actor to come do the scene. They're just showing that he's not in the case anymore.
So he's
save some money. Yeah. We don't have to have him break through the door again. Just show he's not in the case. Yeah. We don't have to pay the guy to come in today. That's $800 we saved.
Mm-hmm.
No stunt man. So Harry is printing pictures in his dark room, and the mummy comes in with his
gloves,
basket hands. And he sees them in the reflection of the chemicals that he's developing the pictures in, and the mummy throws him down to the floor and breaks a bottle of chemicals over him. And evidently, for some reason, he's got sulfuric acid in his dark room because it burns him right through the clothes. It catches fire. It's flammable too, whatever it is.
Yeah.
There was I used to develop black and white photography, and I never had anything that was so toxic and terrible that it would catch fire immediately or burn my skin.
Me too. In high school, I did photography, and we had like a lab, and I was surrounded by all these chemicals. There's no way this is.
That's a writer taking some license there.
I mean, it's not healthy to be bathed in it, but you're not going to die like this.
You don't want to drink it, but
this guy was like,
get some on your hands, it's okay.
He was like this, and then he's on fire.
And then he's on fire all of a sudden. And this is the funny part. The mummy they show a great shot of the mummy walking out like, okay, my job is done. And then he turns back to make sure the job is done.
Yeah, so weird.
He just does a little turn back there. Yeah, he's on
and
fire.
And you can see like he's wearing like a costume. It's like it's not even real. It's so bizarre. But the way that he caught fire,
he's a mummy on safari.
And then they're showing like the dead body on, like there with the fire. It's too much. And it's not. It's not.
Graphic,
yeah, but I mean, it's not believable. The way it happened.
Very fashion conscious mummy is what I was going to say earlier. Curse of the Tomb finds second victim. Uh-oh. So now Stanley is
at this point it was alarming. At this point, everybody said, "Oh my God, 2 in a row, we're next." They all started to panic. At that point, things became serious, and that's when he really wanted to leave. Look at him,
Yeah. Again, that look from the wife, like it's so like I know, but you're an idiot. What can I say?
He totally hates him, right?
So, well, he's such a douchebag through this movie. You got to be on her side on this. And Paul hates his dad too a lot. I mean, they fight all the time through this movie. They did a good job. They did a good job with the dad. He has one of those faces that is not likable. I agree. Like he plays the part very well. Like an a-hole. You want to be in this movie?
Yes.
So he's trying to get out of there again, and he's got his long fellow or long barrel, whatever his name is. He's got him going to get tickets again and to try to get him out of there. And Long Barrel is like, "You're going to take me with you, aren't you?" And it was the first time. This is the first time. So he says, yeah, you're coming with me. So unfortunately, the inspector sees Long Barrel, and he knows what's going on. So he goes back to the hotel with Long Barrel, and he lays it on Stanley. "Look, you can't leave here. All right, you got to stay. There's a murder thing going on here, and you got to stick around."
This is a very sad scene because, like I said, this character was sweet, always kind.
You feel bad for Long Barrel.
And
he breaks
you
his
know,
glasses when he knocks his glasses off the table, and he puts his knee down on him and he breaks them. He can't
breaks.
see.
He's crying. He's in distress, and
He's
then
not
boom, he
happy.
sees the mummy. Right? He sees the mummy. And he's like, "Who's there?" And then the mummy was like ready to get him, and then he wrapped him. Do you have a picture of that where he?
Yeah, it's coming
him?
up next. So yeah, he opens the door, and the mummy's blurry, but he knows what it is. You know, even though the mummy's got clothes on, he knows what it is.
Yeah.
And then he throws him down on the bed to strangle him, and he gets wrapped up in the mosquito netting and in his bedclothes and stuff, like you said. The mummy didn't do it. He just kind of gets. It's like roll around like he's trying to kill you.
In the beginning,
and he gets all wrapped up in everything, and he just throws him out the window.
In the beginning, he put him on the bed, and he was suffocating him with a pillow or some blanket.
Really? Why
and
didn't
then
I see that?
Yes, go back and watch it. He's like suffocating him and covered his head, and then the mummy's like, "Well, this is going to take way too long to kill him." So then he continued wrapping him, and then
throw him out the window.
Then he threw him out of the window.
All right, so yeah, he ends up in the gutter. In the gutter.
Poor guy.
Down in the street, and there's some blood coming out of the blanket there, but it's you know. It's not nearly as graphic as you would expect from a Hammer training film. Okay, so Long Barrel hasn't shown up with but Stanley's going to go down to the dock anyway and get on the boat because he's got to get on the boat by 12 o'clock, and it's like 11:20. So they're all watching in the magic crystal ball. Mm-hmm. It's like watching TV, you know. Poppies.
That's how they know where they are to go find them and tell the mummy to go get them, you know?
Now, this part confused the hell out of me because Hazmid goes up to him and goes, Findy, do you want me to get you a car? My brother has a car close by. And he doesn't recognize that it's the crazy knucklehead that he's been trying to get away from. He thinks he's the madman. He's going to try to kill everybody. But he doesn't recognize him there. So he sits on his suitcase and he waits for the mummy to show up. Okay. Nothing's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. Street. I mean, this was, so weird, right?
But he didn't recognize Hazmid.
I know.
Like, what the hell? Oh, you're trying to say all Egyptians look alike? Come on now.
And again, you know, I would want to see a little more, you know.
Who has, teeth like that? Come on.
We're so used to seeing more graphic things and violence that this movie felt very, very soft.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind, maybe not my kids watching it, but some other kids could watch this and not be traumatized, but not my kids.
Hey, kids.
I wouldn't want my kids to watch
this crazy movie.
Some other kids could watch this and not be traumatized. I mean, there's a lot of worse things that kids watch these days, and this is not a bad movie.
So it's not as bloody as you would think. So look, the slash marks on the face. Anyway, and they're trying very hard to make him look like Christopher Lee for some reason. Anyway, I digress again. So
they made him appear very tall,
crushed against the wall, and he's done. And we're all like, yay! We don't care about him. You know, he was a douchebag. Yeah. So the inspector goes and talks to Paul and the wife, and again, he now suspects that it's the mummy's curse. The inspector now has jumped over to the side of the supernatural.
Yes.
So and Claire runs off to see Haiti to get her to a face that only a mother could love.
I'm telling you, she looked the part. Like, she was creepy, man. She was creepy looking.
She was going full Maria Openskaya on this scene.
It was like, you're gonna die. You're gonna die.
Yes. But she's cool about it. She's like, but maybe I can save you. So she keeps her, you know.
She did
very
offer
smart,
her that.
very clever.
She's like, if you do apologize, ask for mercy.
Yeah. Knowing that she doesn't have the shroud.
Right.
And that part is the best part in the movie. It's the best part in the movie. And it's coming up in just a second.
Yeah.
So Claire decides, or she's conned into going to the mummy and begging for forgiveness by Haiti.
Yeah.
So she should have been in more Hammer films, like more vampire movies. She looks like she could be a good vampire. Anyway,
She has one of those faces, like
yeah.
very beautiful, but like don't mess with her. She could pull off the vampire look like this.
Okay. So she goes to the museum. We may have to go through a few slides here to get to the museum to beg forgiveness. And Paul, yeah, there she is.
Well,
And
it's
the
funny.
mummy,
She was in that room with the witch, whatever.
yes,
And then boom, she was with the mummy. Like they don't show how she got there. She
right.
just kind of
well,
like.
they don't want to waste time showing her walking through the street.
But it was
the
like
mummy,
it was so weird. Like she was sitting there with the witch, and then boom, we see her standing in front of the tomb, and like she's like saying all
the witch
these.
told her to go there. Said you got to go beg forgiveness.
The point is they rushed the ending. They wasted so much time throughout the movie, and then at the end they rushed through everything. It was like
they rushed the beginning too. As a matter of fact, they kind of rushed the middle.
Well, the beginning I don't care so much because we got what was happening, but the ending it was all filmed in 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and the ending was shot.
It does happen rather quickly.
When I watched it yesterday, I timed it. It was like 5 to 7 minutes from this scene,
right?
From the scene with the witch all the way to the end. Like there's 5 minutes left now in the movie, you guys. 5 minutes left. So weird.
Okay, and I found a picture of Catherine Lacey when she was young. That's the fortune teller.
Oh wow!
Yes, I told you she was beautiful.
Beautiful, absolute gorgeous. She died in the late 70s. Absolutely gorgeous woman.
She took her teeth out for this one, for Haiti.
Well, I wanted to show the difference, but that's who she is. It's called acting.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I told you she was beautiful, and look at her now.
From that to that, wow!
But it's called acting, General. It's called acting. Look at her.
It's
beautiful
acting.
woman. So thank you, Pan, for talking about that so that we could vindicate beautiful Catherine. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, very beautiful.
British.
Yes.
She's British. And
Maria Openskaya was very beautiful when she was young too, and she played Maliva in the Wolfman movies. So,
she has those big blue eyes, when in her youth. Can you imagine, like how beautiful her eyes? Like now it's a black and white picture, but
she looks like young Maggie Smith there.
Yeah.
Okay, the mummy's blue eyes show up again, and
it's the mummy's eyes.
Hazard is there reading he's got the shroud in his hand, and he's reading, and he wants the mummy to kill her, and Paul shows up to save her, and that means the last two people that were in the tomb are now there.
Yeah. So
the mummy attacks Paul, and Paul is backing up from him to the back wall there, and the mummy. This is really weird. The mummy is destroying all of these artifacts along the way. He's knocking over cabinets and stuff, and he's destroying all of this Egyptian artifacts that were in the tomb. He's destroying them as he goes along,
and he's also like destroying himself. He's like, He's made out of clay. It looks like he's made out of clay at the end, and then you see the bones, and he's ripping himself apart, like he's.
Wait a minute, hold on, we haven't gotten to that yet. Paul takes a hatchet off the wall. I guess it's like a fire axe kind of thing. It's a hatchet, and he nicks it in the shoulder with a hatchet.
Yeah,
and so this mummy now is walking around with a hatchet in his shoulder. The inspector shows up, starts shooting him. Paul is on the other side of the mummy. So how Paul didn't get shot in this scene is amazing. That mummy must be really thick. Maybe he is ceramic.
Yes.
Because those bullets didn't go through him and kill Paul, which should have happened because Paul was right behind him when he shot him. And those bullets, usually in a mummy movie, the bullets go right through the mummy. It goes right through him.
Exactly.
So, and you see powder and dust coming out the back. So anyway, Paul, doesn't look a gift horse in the mouth. He goes over to her and he goes, "You have to say the words." And this is my favorite part. Hazard jumps out and says, "Only the person that holds the shroud can summon the mummy."
I know.
And the inspector's right behind him with a gun. He goes, "Oh yeah?" Bam! And he shoots it.
And then it's so, I'm telling you, listen.
You're real.
The whole ending, it took 5 minutes. It was so weird, so fast.
That's the
And it was
best.
like they should have taken a good 15 minutes at least to make it more believable. There he is.
Here it is. Only the one who holds the mummy's shroud is the one who controls the mummy. Oh, yeah? Next slide. Bam!
He's not very smart. He told them that.
was the dumbest thing any villain has done in any movie. There he is. Bam!
He deserves to die now.
So, of course, he drops the shroud. Paul grabs it, takes it to Claire, goes, okay, now say the words. And she does.
Yeah.
And the mummy is pulling the hatchet out of his throat. He's coming in with a hatchet. He's a mummy with a hatchet now. Pretty scary stuff.
And he's basically, did you see the part where he's like, just as he's like dying or whatever, he's already dead.
It's coming up.
As he's getting all like decomposed, like splitting apart, he's doing it to himself. I found that so weird. Why is he doing this to himself? I don't know if there's a picture of that, but that is so weird.
Yeah, it's coming up. So there, the inspector even tries to attack him to give him time to read the words, and he gets thrown halfway across the room, and amazingly survives that. Being thrown by a powerful mummy.
I think they it took them like 5 minutes to shoot the whole ending. Like there was
they
no
probably did it in
editing.
one night. That's for sure. So now she's got the shroud and she's saying the words. And like you said, the mummy starts to stagger a little bit. He drops the axe, goes down to his knees.
Look, his gloves are ripped. You can see his skin.
Oh, that was another thing, was he had blood on his gloves after Stanley from crushing his head against the wall. And Paul noticed that in a scene that we glossed over.
Yes. There's the blood. There, you see it. See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here he's dropping the axe. Then he goes down to his knees. He puts his basket hands up to his face and starts pulling himself apart, like you said.
So weird.
So it's a typical, ending to a monster in a Hammer film. They usually disintegrate in front of you. And this is how they do it.
He should have just kind of decomposed like naturally but him doing it to himself was so weird. There's the hands.
And then there's dust and 2 gloves, basket gloves.
Yeah.
So, they're all covered in dust.
I don't know. I give this movie
D minus.
I give this movie like 3 out of 10. Not a good score. I'm sorry. But
that makes for a better show for us, though. I hate to say that, but
there were some good moments. Some of the actors did a good job. Not all of them. Some did. I mean, some were not. The women did a good job in this movie. Both the ladies, Claire and
yeah, and the wife. Actually, and Haiti too. Stanley. All the women in this did a good job. So Claire goes over and puts the shroud over the baby again, or over the kid.
Yeah,
corpse.
And that's how it ends.
And that's how it ends. So if I had any advice to give to our viewers, if you're being attacked by a mummy, look for an Egyptian guy that's trying to control the mummy and kill that guy. Yeah. If you do, chances are you'll be able to kill the mummy.
Exactly.
Because that guy's controlling the mummy.
Exactly.
Okay. So if they got a shroud or if they got Tana leaves or whatever, just kill them. They're trying to kill you. It's self-defense. Kill the guy that's controlling the mummy.
Exactly.
That's my advice to you on this one.
And secure the mummy. Put the mummy in a nice closed up place with the guard. Don't let the mummy go in and out freely as it wishes.
Don't give your mummy free reign, okay?
Yeah. I mean, this is
put a little mummy cat box next to him and
precious things should not be open for public enjoyment.
All right. Well, thank you for joining this, The Mummy Shroud.
Thank you for having me. This was fun. I will see you on Saturday.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you'll see Rory and the crowd for your improv night.
I'll see Rory.
Improv afternoon.
Hint, hint.
And the rest of those Cosmos creative TV types.
Yes.
and have a good show. Break a leg, as they say in the entertainment business.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone who watched or who's going to be watching the replay. I shared it in my group, and I want to share it a little bit. We should be sharing this everywhere. A lot of people don't know about this show. You guys, we need to share it. So whoever's watching,
we've had 5,000 views on our King Kong versus Godzilla episode. So
really?
Yeah. So that was a big surprise. I found out like a week and a half ago.
Oh my goodness. Well,
so hopefully,
who knows then?
Yeah, we've
was
got
it
a
on
couple of
Facebook?
videos that got 1,000 hits or a couple of thousand hits. So we're taking off.
Which platform?
See, I bought this coat trying to look like Kurt Russell in Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. You know, trying to be cool, and it's got a blue lining. I didn't see that until I tried to put it on here. Anyway,
where did you get all those views? It's not on Facebook. Which platform is it?
YouTube.
On YouTube?
Right. We're
That's
on
amazing.
YouTube. That's where we're archived.
Oh my God. Are you
we're
serious?
Archived on YouTube. Yeah.
5,000 views? That's amazing.
On that one. Yeah.
Oh my
There's
God.
some that only have 25 views, you know.
Well, so then when they go search for it, maybe it appeared as one of the top 5.
It depends on what the movie is about, you know, like what the subject matter is. Godzilla usually gets good hits, and King Kong. I will tell you that. And old movies that we colorize get good hits. Like we did Tarantula, we did 20,000 Miles to Earth, but it was the first time that we did a whole timeline in color of that black and white film, you know. So a lot of people go in to see that, to see the stuff in color. You know, we did the first Godzilla movie with a colorized timeline. Again, we did King Kong, the first movie, and with a colorized timeline. So people go to see those more because they're interested to see what it looks like in color.
Yeah. Okay. Then, you know, this is great. You never know. You never know who's watching. You never know if it's going to get more views or not. The whole point is to be consistent.
Again, I'm hoping for more and more people to watch because it'll save lives.
I shared it in my group, and everyone who's watching, you guys should share it in other groups. Cosmos, let's share it everywhere.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody. This was
Thank you again. Thank you all for being here. And thank you in the replay, that people watching on YouTube for all of your views. And keep an eye out for those big